Get those bets in for the primetime game. That's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We serve our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later, and deliver those winners our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. So let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us is Big Al McMordie. It's Wednesdays with Mitch. Zawacky and Dana Lane will sign in bottom of the hour. Here's how the lineup for this evening. Mitch, McMordie, Zawacky, Lane, and I will close this one out. All right, NBA on the board tonight. Lots of college hoops action on the ice as well. So let's get this show underway. Let's welcome in Mitch. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. You can catch him in the morning shows here every day on the channel. During the week, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Of course, catch his very popular 7 picks in 5 minutes. Of course, we'll bring him in right now. Let's see here. We'll get Mitch in just a second here. Did I go too far? I went too far on this roster board here. Just 1 second. What a way to start, huh? Here we go, Mitch. Mitch, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just another day in college basketball world, man. We are just living in it right now. Yeah,
no doubt about that. College hoops, as you said, here we're almost at the end already. End of January. And as you know, February just goes by quick. As we said, we've been saying this for years.
Extra day in February this year, though, so it's an extra day to bet on sports.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, March Madness starts really almost like a week later than it normally does, at least the NCAA tournament. So I don't know how that works. My guess is they'll just cram the beginning of March in with more games.
Yeah, that's how it looks. And, of course, tonight we're going to see the Timberwolves and the Wizards are going head-to-head. We've seen the line move a little bit with the news on Conley now here. The Timberwolves favor 10.5 on the road. We see the total coming in here 229.5.
Yeah, the Timberwolves are starting to look like the same Timberwolves that we've seen in recent years, and that's not a good sign for Timberwolves fans or backers at the window. What we're seeing is the Timberwolves, they just set you up just for the disappointment, and that's exactly where they appear to be heading right now. They've just been, those foul shots by Anthony Edwards the other night, just kind of the icing on the cake. He 97 to 100. He missed the first two, not intentionally, and then had to intentionally miss the three. And on that one, the third one, on that one, he didn't even hit the rim. Then they come back out and get dog-chowed by the Charlotte Hornets of all teams. This is a team that's, I don't trust whatsoever. Yeah, the Wizards haven't been much at all, but the way the Timberwolves are playing, I think the Wizards have a chance to win here outright on the money line. I'm going to take the Wizards plus the 405 on the money line, also sprinkle it on the points.
All right, Mitch, you're on the Wizards here, plus the points. We've seen the line come down a bit because of the news on Conley out, so this one comes down to 10.5 in this one. Yeah, it is true with this Timberwolves. They don't play the same type of defense away from home. They've been a really good defensive. They improved that. But again, we haven't seen this season long from this Timberwolves team with a lot of these players on the court.
No, they just haven't been the same team. They just look, it's that time of the season. We're about at the halfway point for a lot of the teams out there, and we're starting to see teams wear down, especially the ones that don't have the big-time depth and aren't just used to winning and know how to manage that. I mean, every team out there is going to have a bump in the road, but some of these teams, we're starting to see them just flat out wear down. And I think the Timberwolves, maybe that's what they're going through, or at least some of their players are. And if it's Anthony Edwards, well, that is some real bad news for this team. Towns picked up the slack the other night, putting 60 on the board. That was just more of a statement of what nobody else on this team could do. That he had to do everything himself. So I don't take it that way. I take it that, Timberwolves, well, so they can show us otherwise, they look to be in straight regression mode.
Yeah, but I remember when Kevin McHale left coaching, I remember his exit interview basically, and he said, I think a few days later, the NBA's become a watered-down league. And I think we see it so much now in these benches, right? You really have to look at the benches now in the NBA. As you said, lack of depth. We'd say the next guy up, but sometimes there's a big difference here with that guy on the bench, and sometimes when you have to force to use these DNP guys, it can get ugly.
Yeah, I think what happens, especially with teams like the Timberwolves, the Rockets, we're starting to see them sort of wear down. These defense-first teams, and it's like I think defense always wins championships, and at the end of the day, if the Timberwolves regroup and get their defense together, they'll have a chance to make a run because of the defense. But defense is a lot of effort, and it takes a lot out of you, and that's why you always hear like the guys that have like the nicked up ankle or whatever. It's like they're injured on defense, but they're fine on offense. And I just think that that's the same thing, with the Timberwolves. It's just right now their defense, they just look tired on both ends of the court.
Now, speaking of defense, of course, and I've been very critical of the Bucks. If you saw the Saturday show, I think it was that Saturday game where the Bucks just threw their hands up and said, that's enough. I mean, the way they played defensively there in that game was disgusting. Griffin out, Doc Rivers in for Milwaukee. What's your thoughts about the coaching change?
Yeah, Doc Rivers has only won the one championship unless they can get Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and a slew of other future Hall of Famers, Ray Allen, and whoever else they can get their hands on. That's the only way Doc Rivers can win. We can only hope that for those of us who have bet against the Bucks a lot this season, that maybe brings Austin Rivers in as well to see some quality minutes.
Yeah, I know that about that. Of course, I thought a slick move here by the Heat. Now, again, I always talk about looking at box scores. I've been watching the box scores with all the injuries to Charlotte. You saw that Terry Rozier was producing points. And what do you think? I thought a pretty good move by the Heat bringing in Rozier because he can, again, we talk about depth. He can give you points off the bench if you need it. Now, because a lot of these teams that are bad, some of their starters can be pretty good bench players, I think.
I think when we look at the trade in its whole, I think that, Kyle Lowry is at the end of his career. He's one of the oldest players in the NBA at this point. And, he wasn't going to be around much longer, and a lot of those same things. He just can't log the minutes that he used to be able to. While Rozier, the Heat have always been a team, under Spo, where, like, a guy who's just, it's anybody has the ability to take over the game. Almost everybody on the roster. You see the big Harrow game, you see the big Butler game, you see the big Bam game. Hawkes has had big games, and now it's like another guy that can do the same thing. It's like, to have all those guys that can do that, it doesn't have to be the all-star team. It could be a bunch of guys that can play really well. And for the Heat, I expect them to at least go back to the Eastern Conference Championship, if not the NBA Finals once again. Yeah,
you're looking at them definitely as a repeat, right? Who will be the biggest test, I think, for the Heat?
Probably themselves. I think that's really going to be it. It's like they're going to have to get out of their own way. They've already proved that they could lock down the Boston Celtics with a lot less than what they have now, without Hawkes, without Harrow in the lineup, and also without Terry Rozier. So I think if they could beat them without those guys, well, they should have no problem with them now. I know the Celtics added Porzingis. So what? Jason Tatum disappears in the fourth quarter of the big games. We all know that. We saw it again on the game against the Nuggets recently, where he threw up that brick with the game on the line.
What did you take from last weekend's college basketball results you can apply to this weekend's?
Dayton's going to the Final Four. I mean, this team looks just sensational. I had them again last night. Just absolutely killing teams in this conference. And, I thought Dayton last year, I had them in the Final Four. Then they came out and lost like their first 5 games or something, the last couple of years. But, this is a team that the year that the tournament was canceled, the Obi Toppin team in Dayton, they would have been a Final Four team. They would have easily been a number 1 seed. And I think that this Dayton team is very similar to that. And I think that they're going to get better. I think also, that what we're seeing this year is that the home court is just so big. It's bigger than I can ever remember seeing it. Last night we saw South Carolina, storm the court against Kentucky. I said that in my pick on my video, that South Carolina is going to win the game, that storm the court, and man, the Kentucky fans, gets on YouTube. It's YouTube fans. It's YouTube people meets Kentucky fans. It's not a pretty situation for anyone. And then when the game's over, it turns into a ghost town. But I think that there's a lot of good teams out there, and I think that some of these smaller conferences, or not even smaller conferences, but other conferences like the Mountain West, even though they have a few good teams in there, like New Mexico, Nevada, San Diego State, they have a lot of good teams there. They're still going to get squeezed because all the big conferences have just so many good teams. Most of the big conference teams only have like 1 or 2 bad teams, or teams that have no shot at making the NCAA tournament. Like the Big East, it's pretty much DePaul and Georgetown, but everybody else has a shot to make the tournament right now. You look at the Big 12, Oklahoma State is maybe out, but pretty much everybody else, maybe West Virginia is out, but almost everybody else is in. You look at the Big 10, almost everybody is still in at this point. Maybe Michigan is out, and right? So it's like every Penn State is probably out. So it's like most conferences, only one or two teams really have played their way out of it. So the next month and a half, it's going to be like almost a playoff within the playoff because so many teams are good. I mean, when's the last time we've been talking about Nebraska and Northwestern like as locks, to make it? It's like that's how good college basketball is right now. And the Big Ten's going to have 10 teams in there. I just looked at they just released the ACC football schedule for next year. I mean, with the addition of Stanford and
Cal, SMU,
Stanford and Cal, and SMU.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a monster schedule, and of course the expanded playoff. Miami we open at Florida here. So
we've seen Kentucky slip. We've seen Kentucky have struggles early in conference play on the road. It's usually it's a lot of turnover there, and they always have their struggles early in conference. Do you see a late surge here? We're a third of the way through conference play. Do you see a late surge from this Kentucky team?
I think that Kentucky has played well, and when you look at even the recent two losses, the one against Texas A&M was an overtime game that could have easily gone either way. And then, the game against South Carolina, it was just a really bad spot. I think this South Carolina team is really good. It's like there aren't a lot of gimmies. You look at the SEC, maybe Vandy, LSU maybe are out right now. Everybody else certainly is playing for a spot. So it's just the conference is just that good. South Carolina is a 4-loss team, going to the NCAA tournament. They haven't been there since the Sindarius Thornwell Frank Martin team that went to the Final Four, but they're going to the tournament this year, barring some kind of outright disaster. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you get 64 teams out of this, how you narrow it down to 68. I don't even know how you get it there. It's like this is going to be the toughest field in the NCAA tournament history. The number one seeds are going to be in big trouble. I mean, these 9s and 8s are going to be just absolute killers. It's like, what's Nebraska going to be? What's Indiana's probably out. What is Iowa going to be? If they make it. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. What's Michigan State going to be? Because they're going to get in.
Yeah, and then of course you think of Cinderella. They get in. Do you see Cinderella coming with this Grand Canyon? I know they slipped on the road at Seattle with Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Grand Canyon, they're gonna have to win their conference to get in. I mean, that's what it pretty much comes down to, one bid conferences. But no one's gonna want to play those guys. They'll probably be a 12 against the 5 type deal.
Yeah, Grand Canyon can fit that. If they run the table, they can. They have wins against San Diego State. Lost at 7 to South Carolina, beat San Francisco, but they appeared to be down this year. But again, it's that was their signature win. Will be that San Diego State game there. Mitch here on the Wizards plus 11 here against the T-Wolves. Actually, it's now about 10.5 now with the Conley News tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Mitch, let everybody know here as we're heading into end of January. What's happening over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat?
I can tell everybody right now, even though the point spreads aren't out, I will have my strongest college basketball play of the year on Saturday. Of course, all picks in the NFL playoffs. We've got that all covered as well. And, just par for the course. We don't just jump on in March Madness. We cover college basketball top to bottom all the time. It's like, we've been doing it for 16 years and we'll continue to do it. So, tomorrow's videos, you'll see, no truer story will be told. You can see me doing that Central Connecticut State video for tomorrow against, I don't even remember who they're playing, but I did it. And, we'll just continue on doing that stuff. I'm excited about it, and we have some big growth going on here. So, if you want to be a sports handicapper and you have, something that you bring to the table, let us know. I certainly don't hire everybody, that's for sure, but we're always looking for top tier talent, especially if you have other skills like a social media presence.
There you go, guys. Check out Mitch. And it'll be Central Connecticut State and Fairleigh Dickinson. Will be your 5 p.m. Eastern time game at ESPNU.
Gruesome. It's so bad. It's on TV.
Yes.
It's so bad. It's 5 p.m. Eastern. It's like weekday daytime sports.
That's
people
right.
Watch anything. Hey, it's like we could show our betting show, or we could show Fairleigh Dickinson versus Central Connecticut State.
Yeah, they're going to go up against Elon and Campbell on CBS Sports Network. They're going to go up against Elon and Campbell.
Yeah, that's going to be a battle, you know. We call Elon the X's, formerly known as Twitters. Anyways, it is that time of year. You know, a lot of Horizon League tomorrow. We'll have that all covered as well.
And we got a Hawaii game. You see Santa Barbara and Hawaii. I don't see a line. I see the power rates. Hawaii favorite there at 3.
Oh, no, it's out. The line's out. So what happens on that game is that it flips to the next day.
Yeah.
I think it's 4.
Okay. There you go. Mitch is already looking at that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I'm already way into tomorrow. We have those lines. The line's already out, so it's like I'm already into it. But a lot of good things going on, and I'm excited about it. I can tell you, like I said, this Saturday I will have my highest rated college basketball game of the year. I already know what it is, and I don't care what the point spread is. That's how much of a mismatch it is.
There you go. From Mitch.
I don't even care what the point spread is. I know I'm actually going to be a dog in the game, and I know the team's going to win outright. So I know they're going to be at least a 5 to 10 point dog, probably in the 7 range, and then they're going to win outright.
There you go. You got it from Mitch. Make sure you tune in Saturday and get those premiums. All right, Mitch, have yourself a great night, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Make it a winning day, everyone. We appreciate each and every one of you.
You got it. Mitch here on the drive to. Let's continue here on the show. Big Al McMordie up next. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring Big Al here ready to roll. Big Al, what's happening?
Hey guys. Or hey, Mitch is gone.
Yeah, Mitch is gone. It's at the weekend. We're on Wednesday. That Big 9 board. All right, Mitch, Big Al here with his. I can say it's his. Although he's not wearing the garb, he's not wearing the swag today. His Spurs are going to be hosting the Thunder tonight. Thunder favored on the road here, 8 total 242. Well, here you go. He's probably going to put it on right now.
I can do it. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Reach over here to get my. There.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
There's my sweat.
There you go. Spurs are going to be dogs at home.
Well, what else would they be unless you're playing the Detroit Pistons or Wizards? Spurs are playing really well right now. I mean, for them especially. They inserted Trey Jones into the starting lineup at point guard back on January 4th versus the Bucks. You know, the fans were kind of calling for that for a while. Finally did it after using Branham and Sohan at the point before that. And the Spurs are 8-2 ATS with Jones in the starting lineup, including 3-0 ATS at home over those 10 games. And prior to that, just to compare, the Spurs were 5-28 straight up and 13-20 ATS. So you go from 13-20 ATS to 8-2 ATS. So that shows the difference of Trey Jones in the starting lineup. When these two teams met earlier this season, the Spurs were annihilated by Oklahoma City, 123-87. But San Antonio's been really good in the revenge role, and especially when they lost by 22 or more points to their opponent in the previous meeting. Then in that situation, they're 45-26 ATS. This is going to be I'm sure it's going to be a really big game for Chet Holmgren too, because a lot of people are looking at this game to try to assess who is going to have the lead in the Rookie of the Year voting. A lot of people like Chet, even though his stats aren't as good as Wemby's. He plays on a team that's very well could represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals, whereas the Spurs are, pulling up the rear. So a lot of people like going with players on winning teams for those kinds of awards, and I can't disagree with that. But I think this game might, tilt it one way or the other, depending on if one of the guys has a big game tonight.
All right, Big Al McMordie here says Spurs +8 here against Thunder here. Thunder come off that game last night. Didn't cover that one against Portland there, as Portland got that was kind of controversial ending last night.
I had a huge play on the that was one of my premium plays yesterday. We were 2-0. We're now on a 7-0 streak the last 3 days, 3 straight sweeps on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But I love Portland. That was a great setup for them because they had lost the 2 previous games by a combined 105 points, and that was the most that a team had lost to an opponent over 2 games. Before that, I think it was maybe 94 points. One team lost 2 straight games to its opponent, and it just was a really nice setup for Portland, because after getting blown out by that many points over 2 straight games, you knew that they were going to come to play. And I don't think they're going to win the protest. I mean, from my vantage point, the referee is zeroing in on the action, and he can't have eyes in the back of his head necessarily to hear the Portland coach call for the timeout. I mean, what did you think about that?
I'm with you there. I mean, there are so many more rules now, and if for these officials, that it's getting to the point where it's just hard. It's just very hard. That's why it didn't surprise me with that issue we had in the regular season late there with the player substitution or the lineman eligible play. It's just making things just too complicated for these officials now with all these rules.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he necessarily had to give him too technical fouls, so that maybe he could have recognized, I blew it by not hearing the timeout call. Maybe one would have been sufficient, but he only made one of the 2 free throws anyway. But I don't know. I don't think Portland's going to win that protest, so it'll definitely go in the books as a loss for the Trailblazers.
The trading deadline. What do you see the Spurs doing, if anything?
Yeah, I know they've made inquiries about DeJounte Murray with Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's going to be interested in anything really the Spurs have to offer or are willing to offer. So I don't know. I think the Spurs would probably stand pat, maybe do nothing.
Okay.
I don't know.
There you go. Big Out here on the Spurs +8 against the Thunder tonight, 9:30 Eastern time. Right, Big Out. Let's take a look over at Pick Dogs. Premium for tonight's action, NBA, NHL, as well as college hoops on the board. Big Out having a great season here in college hoops. 1,840 units of profit. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, it's been a really good year. Also having a great year in the NBA. I think you're number 1 in the NBA. Last I saw, I think I was number 3 over at Pick Dogs. 62 and 42 in the NBA. Have 2 NBA plays today, and then in college, I think it's something like 141 and 111, and I've got 4 plays in college, so 6 plays in all. It's a really good card. And then I've got 1 play in the NFL. Had a real nice weekend last weekend in the NFL, 4-1. So things have been going pretty well, and folks can get on board by going to the join for a week or a month over at the premium side, or they can also team me up with one of the other champion handicappers, like Tony, and get a 2-for-1 handicapper special.
That's right, guys. Again, we're with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the great results in college hoops. Fantastic numbers. Look at them this year, the last 30 days, last 7 days, yesterday, showing great profit. No better time than now to get the long-term pass. Remember that 1-month pass will get you all Big Al's premium plays here for the NFL playoffs all the way through the Super Bowl, all his college hoops, NBA, and NHL for the next 30 days. Your best value now with all these sports overlapping. Remember, we have high volume of sports up there with NHL, NBA, college hoops. Great time to get on board with that 30-day pass. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. But if you're a big bettor, Big Al has something for you here. Big Al is the all access.
All right. Yeah, if folks can bet 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 a game, and they also don't mind high volume because on a Saturday I'm apt to have somewhere between 10 and 20 plays. Just text Big Al to 775-636-7676, and it's 24/7. You can ask me about any game on the board beyond my premium plays. You also get the games rated 10 stars, 9 stars, 8 stars, so they'll be rated 10 down to 1, so you know which ones are the best plays. And if there's a game you want to bet on, you can call me 5 minutes before game time. It can be 10 o'clock at night, and you can ask me about any game of your liking.
There you go. Text Big Al. Got the number there. Get signed up. All right, Big Al, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, Tony. Good luck to you.
Good luck to you as well. Big Al McMordie here on the Drive Thru. Guys, if you ever miss a pick, we always recap at the end of the show. So just make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Someone asked me a question. I'll be on the weekend show Saturday or Sunday. I'm leaning towards Saturday, but things can change in my schedule as far as my outdoor adventures go. So I'm trying to solidify on that. So, but we'll definitely be on the weekend. All right, let's continue on here on the Drive Thru. Let's see, we've got Rod up next, and Dana Lane will usually sign in around about this time. But first, Rod is up next. Catch him over at Pick Dog Spring. We'll bring Rod in right now. Let's see, we can get him in here in just a second. We got NHL coverage here from Rod Zawacky. I think we're ready to go here with Rod. Rod, what's happening?
Nah, not too much, Tony. Just getting ready for the night's action.
Yeah.
Check things out and look and see if we got some little bonus action. Lots of college hoops tonight again. Lots of NHL. Good night of sports betting to make some more money.
Yeah, lots of great night tonight here. Of course,
Yeah,
so
so
we
we're
got,
going to the Sharks again.
yeah,
Again? With the
again. Oh my goodness.
again.
Little
3-2.
Mo.
Didn't we say 3-2?
Yeah.
I said 3-2, but I think I figured the Rangers were going to get the win in that one. I figured it was 3-2. We got the under. Definitely easy under in that one.
Yeah, the under was that under was came in again. These Sharks are showing some. Well, they have as you said, they have shown some improvement here of late, right?
Defensively, they've been stepping it up and giving up mid 2 goals, 3 goals, and battling. And if you can do that defensively, only giving up 2 goals, 3 goals, well, it'll keep you in any game. As we can see, we've seen a few third period collapses by teams and big third period comebacks. Good thing for the Oilers 1-1, and they make third, and Skinner sets a record last night too. 11 straight, beating Grant Fuhr for. Grant Fuhr was 10 straight for the Oilers. And last night was Skinner setting it the new record, 11 straight for the Oilers. Just set busting up records, 14 straight wins for the Oilers. Look at that. Rolling right along.
Rolling right around. No, Rod says, don't peak too soon. It could be a false peak, right? You get the peak at the end of the season.
You got the rest coming at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
So you get that 6 days off. McDavid's was going to have to go. Draisaitl, they'll hit the All-Star game, and they won't get a day off. But Skinner will probably get a rest here.
It's like a whole new season started. It's like a whole new season.
Yeah, exactly. You get like a week off and get to relax and get yourself rejuvenated and come out busting and watch out for the Oilers, man. Watch out. They're looking really good.
Looking real good.
Pieces. We'll see what Perry looks like coming up this weekend. Saturday is his first slated game to actually get some skating action and get in there with the Oilers.
Perry is the type of guy where he'll help you the most in the postseason.
Oh, big time, right? Because he's been there, done that.
Yeah.
How many cups has he been to? Let's just hope he didn't bring the curse with him.
He might be that one slide veteran. He gets under everyone's skin. He pisses off the opponent, but he's that one guy that can really, I think, we've seen that a lot with some players in the league where you get that one. Who was that ex-King that did that? He made a stop in LA, and he was that one guy that gets teams over the hump. Oh, the name escapes me.
You got well. There's a.
He was on Tampa Bay. I think he was there. Oh goodness, the name escapes me right now. Oh, someone in the chat will know. I know that.
Toffoli is a big guy right now. That's
yeah, it was an old crusty. Justin. What's his name? Justin. What was his name? Justin. Oh man, the name escapes me. Justin. His name is Justin. What's his Justin? God, the name escapes me right now. Former LA King. He was around the league for a while, and then he just shows up in teams, and automatically they just end up in the Stanley Cup. Let's see here. Let me put LA King.
One of those unsung veterans. That,
Yeah. Justin Williams.
Williams. Oh yeah, Williams. Now you say Justin Williams. Yeah.
Yep. Keep an eye.
And that's just what Perry is, right? He's one of those veterans guys that give you the run and a little bit of depth as well. He'll chew up some minutes on the second power play. He'll also be able to kill some penalties for you as well. So,
and he'll cause some ruckus. He'll cause a ruckus.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. He'll annoy some people.
Yeah, he's not afraid he's not afraid to do the dirty work. When you have a bad game when you're getting beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no problem going in the corner and muck it up with one of the big guys and get him going.
Yeah, I got a little toughness to the team. I thought that's a good move for the postseason where the Oilers keep an eye on him. And here's a team that's on the rise.
You signed them at an entry level. Half the season's over anyway. So what do you pay? $350, $400K for him? Yeah, get him in there. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? He wants to cut more than anything. He's not there for the money. So he's definitely not there for the money. He wants to cut. So he's going to give 150, 160%. When he gets in there as well, so I think it's a great move. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, no. Don't worry about what he does. Don't worry about him what he does during the regular season. Just don't worry about it, because
come on, Campbell. Campbell's playing good in the AHL as well. He's getting wins and looking like souping it up. All right, your trade base looking good. Come on, keep going. We want to be able to trade you and get a good piece back, at least one anyway.
Are the Canucks? Are the Canucks? Are the Canucks one of these fast risers who'll have a quick drop in the postseason? Do we see that in the NHL with these fast risers during the regular season? They hit the postseason, it's a drop.
It depends how Demko does, right? We've seen Demko, if he stays the way he's playing into the playoffs, I think he's got to step it up one more little notch, and if he does that, this Canucks team is young. I just worry about the grizzled veteran that they don't have.
Yeah.
They're a very young team. They're very fast, but they'll go as far as Demko goes, literally. You got DeSmith in the back, but I've seen DeSmith. I think his last game out, he was a little bit rough, so no worried with the Canucks tonight. I think they get the job done anyways, getting the Blues on the back-to-back. But
Canucks and Blues tonight. This is Rod's pick for the show. Canucks big favorites 244. We see the total 6.5.
Yeah, you look at this one here. You look at the Canucks. As I said, it's going to be DeSmith in goal for the Canucks in this one. And he's definitely giving up some goals. He's going against Hofer on the other side for the Blues, and he's definitely giving up some goals. So I definitely like the over in this game. And you look head-to-head, I think both these offenses. Last time, the Canucks ripped in 5 in this same matchup in Vancouver earlier this year. And I think that the Blues will at least have some punch back, especially with the Smith in net. We've seen last time with the Smith gave up 3 goals, last 4 goals last time out with the Canucks, and I think you get the same here. Head to head, we've seen some doozies between these two, where we've seen the 6-5 overtime a couple games back last season. These teams get scrappy, and I know the Blues have scored. They basically throw the defense out the window and let the offenses go, especially after we've seen 2 lower scoring ones, 2-1, 5-1. Time for an over. I think we get a ruckus game where I think the Canucks win this 7-5. Old school hockey where we do tons of goals. Take over in the first period and take the over in the full game.
All right, Rod says go over here with the Canucks and Blues tonight. Over a total here of 6.5 goals. As Rod was telling you here, this is a young Canucks team that can put up some goals. We saw that against Toronto, right, when they had that big monster run there. And then you're looking for the goal explosion day. Of course, obviously, as you mentioned here, with this St. Louis team back-to-back after a tough grind there in Calgary.
Right? Back-to-back grind.
Yeah.
Blues made the big comeback in that game last night. They were down to the Flames. They came roaring back and won at 4-3. Bennington was in that one, so I'm definitely going to see Hofer. And Hofer's good for 3 or 4. He started off his season playing pretty good as backup, looked good, and then now it's every time I see him, it's like 3-4, easy 3-4. So at least both teams get 3 because DeSmith, he started off the year playing hot as well, and now he's good for 3. So I got this at least 3-3, and then that gets us over the total in hockey. You're looking at, can each team score 3? That's the way I look at these totals in hockey. When you see a 6.5. Can you get 3 goals from both sides? That way you're not trying to hope that the Canucks get 6 here and help to push you over. I look at both teams score 3. Yes, I believe both teams can easily score 3 in this one, Blues and Canucks, and that gets us over the 6.5.
That sounds like a nice team prop. Well, each team scoring 3. That would be good.
Because I think the Canucks team total is 3.5. I think that's what they got to set at probably in this one, so that's where they get you, right?
Yeah, that's where they get you on that one.
But I think you can probably find the 2.5 juice, a couple 2.5 juice there on some books for sure. The over team 2.5 in place, probably minus 160, minus 180.
Rod, this LA is not this LA sticker is not in cement. Just so you know. So tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think about this Kingston, and the schedule makers trying to give them another layup. Did they make the layup, or they blow it again like they did against San Jose?
You look at the record, and there's a stat that says the Kings are 0-9.
Oh, jeez.
What is it? The Kings have failed to cover the puck line as favorites in 9 straight hockey games. But the bright side to that is you look at the Kings. Buffalo Sabres losses in the second half of back-to-back. They've lost 5 straight in the second half of a back-to-back. So, I'm going to say this now. If the Kings don't win this game, and they don't win this game by 2 goals, and beat up on the Buffalo team, let me have a look. Is it Levi? Is it Levy? It wasn't confirmed that Levy was gonna
Let's see here.
start in this one.
Double check.
The Buffalo. If it's Levy in net, man, and the Kings don't win this by 2 goals, man, pack it in.
Oh, McClellan's in trouble.
You guys. Yeah, and see, it's not confirmed yet. Nobody.
Not expected. Levy expected. Yeah, expected only.
Levy expected, right? And he hasn't played in like games. And last time we seen him, he gave up 5-6 goals. So
comes in from Rochester.
I think would be. I think this is the spot. Yeah, he's coming out from the NHL. They threw him back down. He was awful up in the NHL to start the year, pushing almost 4 goals against. Sub 900 save percentage. I think 878 or something. He was not good. He was not good. So they threw.
You're not lying about this goaltending this year.
That's what I say. I'm like, the NHL is kind of like the NFL and the lack of good quarterbacks that are going in the end. It's the same in the NHL. It's lack of good goalies. We definitely don't have the whole stack of goalies like we did in the 90s, 2000s with Patrick Waugh, Fuhr, and Moe. Teams that we're carrying too. It's rare. Like Boston, Boston's in a great spot. They're happy. They have 2 guys that are rolling right along. And who else has 2? You got the Jets. They got 2. Hellebuck and Boussois tonight going for as a backup for the Jets. Good combo. Skinner, we were hoping Soup was going to be a good combo, but we'll see. Picard, he'll get the job. He'll be there, but 2 goalies on a team? Not anymore. We used to have lots of 2 goalie teams.
Yeah, Levy in his last AHL game, Levy saw only 17 shots, but he gave up 3 goals. Well,
I gave up 3 goals in the AHL.
In the AHL. Oh, 3. They look at that 3 goals. Oh, that was serviceable. No, but he only saw 17 shots.
He only saw 17 shots.
Yeah.
Right? And the Kings pepper him with 30-something a game. So I'm looking at 6 from the Kings. Kings should at least score 5 or 6 tonight on Buffalo.
Yeah, when Levy. They only gave up 3. He only gave 3 goals in his AHL game. Yeah, guys, you didn't see that. He only saw 17 shots there.
Yeah,
I mean, exactly. They don't shoot straight always in AHL,
No.
You see less shots.
I think I'll see more wide shots. They just rip it, and it's like, ooh, that was a little wide.
My goodness. Yep. That was came off. That's a 3-goal game. You only get 3 good work, son. We're bringing it up, and then the coach looks at this. Hey guys, you told me you gave up. You tells this GM. You told me you gave up 3. You told me you gave up 3 goals. You didn't tell me you saw 17 shots. That's when the coach gets pissed off at the GM. Yeah. All right.
Why hasn't been announced? Like, are you sure you can't go back to back? Come on.
He's already in there. He's already in the flight. He's already on the flight. Oh my goodness! All right, over here, Canucks Blues.
The Kings don't beat Buffalo tonight with Levy in that. Man, just pack it in.
Oh my, McCullen, that house better go for sale, my friend. That house better be up for sale. You better get the listing agent ready. Get the listing agent ready in this one, because if you lose this one, my friend, woo! They just gave you 2 layups. They gave you 2 get right spots in a row. In a row, get 1. Get 1. That's all we're asking.
If they lose this, I think so. Yeah, I think someone's getting fired.
Yeah.
Someone else will be here. Here you go. Bye. We're not going to buy you a bus ticket. Get out.
Get out. And then we'll take the Ontario Reign. The Ontario Reign coach will come in. All right, Canucks Blues over 6.5 tonight. All right, Rod, let's take a look. Before we get to the bonus, let's take a look over at Pick.com for nice action. Of course, the NBA on the board. Lots of college hoops underway now, as well as action on the ice. Great results from Rod in 2024. Great results. You see nearly 2,000 units of profit. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
And over at Pick Dogs Premium tonight, I got a loaded card tonight. I got my NHL sniper play going. Love that play. We crushed it yesterday with the Wild. Looking to continue back-to-back with it. Also got a college basketball 3-pack I've hit 15 out of my last 19 premium plays on college basketball. We're on a heater and rolling right along with that. And then I also got my NBA drop a dime play. 13-5 run with this drop a dime play this season. Definitely, I want to scoop that up in the NBA. But better yet, grab something long term. Join me. We went 3-1 last week in the NFL playoffs, so you want to jump aboard that. I've got one play in already. Looking to load up another. Looking to have a big weekend, so jump aboard. Grab a week pass. Join me. As you see, we've been hot. Week after week, we just stacking the units. So join me. We'll be crushing the books in 2024. Looking to continue it.
There you go. Get on board here with Zawacky over at Pick Dodge Pin. You see the great results. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Remember that 1 month, the 30-day All Sports Pass covers the rest of the NFL playoffs and all your college hoops, NBA, and NHL. With all these high-volume sports, get on board long-term with Zawacky. All right, Rod, let everybody know if you have any bonus for us today.
I do. I got a college hoops bonus little birdcage for you. I like Auburn coming into Alabama. Everybody thinks this is a revenge spot, but this Auburn team is a solid team. They play great on the road. I like them to come into Alabama and get another win. Give me Alabama on the money line. I also like Villanova to come into Madison Square Garden and get themselves a win. They've got 15 straight wins. Does Villanova coming into Madison Square Garden facing non-ranked opponents. And they love to beat up on St. John. So St. John won the last time out. Time to get the beating going again. Give me Villanova on the money line. And then, last but not least, Houston, end of the night. I like the Huskies to beat up on Colorado in that one. 3 money lines, all plus monies. That's plus 1,100 for you in college hoops tonight.
There you go. Bonus there from Rod Zawacky. All right, Rod, as always, great having your show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday. But let everybody know about your video series. You cover the NHL A to Z, every game on the board, as well as those parlays.
Yeah, definitely make sure you're subscribed. That way you get notified when all them hockey videos drop. 9 more hockey games tomorrow, including the parlay video. So 10 more hockey videos to check out tomorrow's action. And we still haven't even started today's action. So hockey's definitely stacking it up before the All-Star break at the end of the season here. So get your hockey fill in as we're heating up and on fire in hockey. Love that parlay tonight, but check it out. Love tomorrow's even better. So
absolutely.
Make sure you're subscribed. That way you can jump aboard and get those videos. Like get that parlay numbers with us.
That's right, guys. Get on board. Crush the books. And Rod Zawacky, that's what he's been doing in 2024 is crushing the books, so get signed up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Rod, keep it hot. Keep it rolling. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday.
Thanks, Tony. You as well. Good luck, everybody, with your bets. Keep crushing the books. That's what we're doing. Have yourself a good one, everybody. Enjoy that action. All of it. Hockey, college basketball, NBA. Got to have 4 TVs going. Push the wipe out. Get those TVs going. Get those TVs going. No excuse now with these streamings. You don't need a box hook to these things. No,
stream.
Exactly.
Wireless streaming.
No,
wireless
exactly.
streaming.
Yeah. Don't forget the iPad. You got to get it going too.
Yeah.
You got to tune in and watch it as well. So you got the iPad, the TV, even the
phone.
Computer. Get. Yeah, a phone. Yeah.
Oh, you got all kinds of devices now. That's it.
Oh yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
So.
Absolutely. All right, Rod. Have a great night. Rod Zawacky here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the show. Up next, Dana Lane. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll talk about his video series. Very well received here at Pick Dogs with Dana Lane and his video series. But so we'll bring him in right now. Coverage from the NHL. Dana Lane, what's happening?
Hey Tony, how are you? How's the hiking? I scrolled through social media and there you are hiking up some mountain.
Yeah, some San Jacinto Mountain, about a 6-mile hike. Not to the peak, about 1,000 feet away from the peak. It was just the snow is just too deep, but that's what I like to do on the weekends. And it was it's a lot of fun. I like doing it, and I've got something planned again this weekend, but it won't be in the snow. I'm still paying the price. I'm in my throat.
I was in your neck of the woods last week, and there was a lot of rain, so I assume where you were, there was a lot of snow. So that's fun. And then, when we got home, we got the snow here in Vegas. So all the snow, all the mountains are snow capped, and we got a little rain for a couple days too. So it was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's been a long time since I've been in the snow.
Yeah. You got a nice peak out there about what do they call it? Charleston. I've gone to the top of Charleston already. I've done that a couple years ago. That's nice.
Yeah, we go up there quite a bit, and it used to be nice until they had that fire at the lodge. I mean, that lodge up there was awesome. We would go in there and eat and sit by the fire, and then of course there was a fire, and they just got around now to having plans to rebuild it. But yeah, we'll probably be back up there again. But that's the one great thing about Vegas. There was a time of year where you could actually lay out in the sun and go skiing in the same day.
That's right. That's right.
Little known fact about Vegas.
That's right. You get to high elevation, even in the 100+ degree temperatures. It's really cool up there in the higher,
Snow doesn't go away until maybe mid-June. You can still see it. And again, like you said, it's 100 degrees down here, and you can clearly see up in the mountains where it's snow-capped mountains. So you hang on to winter as long as you can here because you know it's coming.
Okay, Harbaugh is now a Charger. Just broke right now, head coach.
Yeah, that's not a surprise at all. I mean, and listen, we'll see what happens. I've never been a massive fan of Harbaugh. Great job. It's hard for me because I believe the Irish, so it's hard for me to say great things about Michigan. But good for him. He certainly earned the opportunity, and that's a good spot for him. I thought maybe that'd also be a good spot for Belichick because then you can have full power there. It's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up, but it's not going to be in Vegas, and apparently it's not going to be in Los Angeles.
That's right. So this broke just right now as we speak. We go to the ice tonight here as the Hurricanes here on the road facing the Bruins. Bruins $1.34, total 6 on TNT.
Now, this is a game that Carolina really has to win, and this has been kind of the elephant in the room for a couple of years with this team, where, hey, look, a great team for sure, a really good regular season team, an exceptional home team. But the one thing that Carolina does that they can't do in the postseason is lean on that play where they get a ton of shots on net. They put 42 on Minnesota the other night and lose the game. That has been their ammo for a long time. And they get into the postseason against the better goaltenders, and that just does not work. I think they just need to be tougher down low. I think they need to get into the crease more. That low slot area I need to just see more dirty goals, and that's what Stanley Cup champions, that's what they do. So when you lose to Minnesota, a team that's really just trying to find their way this year, I don't know where Carolina is. And now we're in a situation, Tony, where the local media and Wale is calling them out. A good friend of mine wrote an article this past week about just that, about their toughness and where are their superstars. They have really good players, but when you compare them to Boston, they don't have the Brad Marchand and they don't have the David Pastrnak, and they got a bunch of Charlie Coyles, but they don't have the superstars that really carry them. And I know Boston got knocked out in the first round last year, but you get what I'm saying. I think this is a very important game for Carolina. They're getting good plus money here. I would go out and get this as soon as possible because it looks like the money is coming in on Carolina, so that plus money is getting less and less. But they got issues in goaltending right now, and now this is a measuring stick game for them. And I'm not saying they're better than Boston at all, but these are two legitimate Stanley Cup contenders, and Carolina needs to send a message. Otherwise, Boston just lengthens the psychological lead that they have on everybody else in the Eastern Conference.
All right, Danny here on the Hurricanes plus 121 against the Bruins in this road game. We saw the Hurricanes get off that really poor start, and they were kind of hit with some tough road trips, right? These West Coast trips to start the season, and they were kind of trying to recover from that.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, scheduling has so much to do with it. They are going to play a bunch of home games here coming up, so that is going to be given back to them. But, the schedule is what it is, and I don't even think early on in the season, I think that means a lot less than it does say, this time of year. I mean, you should be fresh as a daisy and ready to go to begin the year, no matter where you're playing. And so, to me, it really comes down, Rod was talking about goaltending, and that's absolutely true. The Bruins are one of the few teams that have a 1 and a 1A. And, Jeremy Swayman and Ullmark are two fantastic goaltenders that really lean on each other to get the best out of each other every night. But now with Antti Ranta and Spencer Martin, really the top two guys there with injuries that Fredericks is not going to come back. I don't think for anytime soon. So you're not going to worry about him at all. So now you got two goaltenders that are kind of iffy with a team that loves to shoot from every corner of the ice, but teams are really starting to say, okay, we're going to keep you to the perimeter. And I don't care how many shots you get on net, Tony. If you're able to keep a team to the perimeter, if you give up 40 shots a night, an NHL goaltender is going to knock down most of those. And that's what teams that have been successful against Carolina have been doing. In fact, you take a look at, just looking at my personal power rankings, they have a 3-5 record against the top 10. They're below 500 against the top 15. Once they get to the upper crust, that's where they start to have a problem. And if they can't get up for Boston tonight, that really, to me, sends a message as we move through the season that maybe this team just internally just doesn't have what it takes again once it gets to the Stanley Cup. So it's a good measuring stick game for me.
Cassidy was calling out the Golden Knights the other night, calling that beer league game, and that's a high-scoring one there. What's your thoughts there?
I love to see it. I mean, it's great once in a while when you have to pull that string, but keep in mind, I mean, this is a Knights team that has always had a little bit of an issue when and not like they're under 500 or anything, but going back to the Northeast, and they do that little tick-tock, between the New York teams and Jersey and Buffalo and all that. That's where they seem to always kind of have a little bit of an issue. We saw that earlier when they made an East Coast trip, not to the Northeast, but they made an East Coast trip to Tampa Bay and Florida, Carolina. They seem to always have that. If they're going to stub their toe, it's going to be on the other side of the country. So I love what Bruce Cassidy did. I mean, Bruce Cassidy pulled the string and said, look, no matter how many injuries that we have, you need to play hard and you need to play well defensively. And we've seen, Carolina's got injuries and they're playing well. They've played well defensively. A lot of teams have. And that's one thing, defense is effort. And being in the right place at the right time is effort. And when you don't see the effort, it doesn't matter who's on the ice. That's when they're going to pull that string. And I love that, Tony, because that also, from a handicapping standpoint, that also tells me a lot about a team too. Because if they respond, which they responded against the Islanders, if they respond, that means you still have a coach that is on top of his team, that the team respects, and they have good chemistry. But I remember, I mean, you can name the amount of coaches that have had tirades on the ice at practice or in the media where the team did not respond after, and that's when things start to go sour. But hey, look, as far as the Knights are concerned, they got a ton of injuries. That is nothing new. But I've always said this: 2 years ago, when they had the injury issues and they missed the postseason by a few points, boy, that to me set the tone for them winning the Stanley Cup, and that to me set the tone for going through what they're going through now. I don't know who's playing for the Ghost Pirates down in ECHL because half of them are playing in Henderson right now. But those tough times created a really good foundation and depth to that organization. So at the NHL level, it is definitely next man up. And we saw Brisson score his goal the other night, and that's his first NHL goal. So guys have stepped up in this organization. I don't worry about them. Those guys will always play hard. They're going to take a game off, but if Bruce Cassidy doesn't like what he sees, he's got the ear of the team enough to know that they will turn it around and make sure that does not turn into a problem of longevity.
There you go, from Dana. All right, Dana's show picked any Hurricanes plus 121 against the Bruins tonight. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Document for nice action and be on the board. Costs of college hoops as well. Dana having a great NFL season. Also, last 30 days has been on fire here. All sports combined, 1,136 units of profit. What do you have going over at Pick Docs Premium?
Yeah, full card tonight. It's about ready to tip off, and puck about ready to drop. We have 3 games, 2 more left in college basketball, 3 games in the NBA, and 1 game on the ice tonight. And of course, there's also the 3 packs in the NBA, 3 packs in college basketball, and that all access pass, Tony, is, I don't care if it's me or another handicapper, that is your best bet. Throw it on the credit card, get a 30-day pass, a annual pass, a week pass, whatever you need to do. That way you don't have to keep on going back and buying individual plays, but that is absolutely your best bet. And that's the way you win long term.
That's right, guys. You got to go with Dana Lane over at Pick Dogs Premium. Great results in NFL. Great results this year. The last 30 days have been on fire. All sports combined. Remember that 1 month pass gets you all of Dana's Premium plays for the remainder of the NFL playoffs, including Super Bowl, all the college basketball, all the NHL, all the NBA. These are high volume sports. No better time now to get the long-term pass, that 30-day pass. Lots of action here from Dana Lane. And of course, remember the promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll save that 15% off. And you get a lot of, Dana Lane, with your service, you get a lot of volume, correct?
Absolutely. I try to put something up for every sport every single day. I don't try to go too crazy. We've done that in the past, and that certainly didn't work out. So about 2 to 3, certainly 3 plays, sometimes 1 like we see in the NHL because there's too many high-volume games up tonight. But 1 play in the NHL. But definitely we're looking at 3 plays at least per sport. That's kind of my goal. And that's why the all-access pass is simply the best way to go.
That's the way you go, guys. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. All right, Dana, it's always great having you show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But let everybody know about your video series. Getting great accolades here on the site with Against the Public.
Yeah, Against the Public. I try to get this up as quickly as I can. Sometimes things get in the way of that, but I will definitely get that up hours before these games starts. But I appreciate everybody that's said nice things on the site. We're going to try to keep this thing going. We kind of get involved in games that we try to go against the public, and sometimes there's a little handicapping involved in this, and I'm like, I really like the side of the public, and then like ticket counts the other way, and I'm like, okay, well that qualifies. But yeah, we try to go in some shape or form against the public, and that's the premise of the show.
There you go, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so when Dana drops that video, you get it right away. Get the best numbers with your bets. All right, Dana, have a great week. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it. Dana Lane here on the drive. So, guys, let's get to the recap, then we'll get to my pick, and then we'll let you roll here for this evening. We'll get to the recap here, and we'll get to the games here in just a second. And my pick will be in the recap, and then I'll give you a breakdown. My game starts a little later in the evening, so let's get to the recap for tonight. All right, we had Mitch here with the Wizards plus 11 against the T-Wolves. Big on McMordie said Spurs plus 8 against the Thunder. Rod was on Canucks Blues over 6.5. Dana likes the Hurricanes plus 121 against the Bruins. I'll be on Trailblazers Rockets over 219.5. I think that number's still there. And of course, let's take a look at some of the numbers right now here. This T-Wolves game is going to be 10.5 with an injury to Conley, so that will be the number there. My number here, 219.5. You can find that everywhere in that game tonight in this one. And let's see if we can actually, the one I like the most, I'm going with here with Mitch's pick. I like that game. I like his pick here with the Wizards here at plus the points against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's go over here. Of course, the T-Wolves not playing the defense on the road as they do at home, and could be one of those teams that is just wearing out a little bit defensively. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the late scratches for tonight's action. We know Hayward, Lowry, Williams. You got to wonder what Lowry's going to be like going over to Charlotte. That's a tough trade for him, going to a 10-31 team, leaving the Heat. Cunningham is out. There was some thought that he may be able to come back. Cunningham out tonight here for Detroit. For Minnesota, Clark Conley out. Levers out for Washington. He's really not a significant player there for that Washington Wizards team. Jaquez out for Miami. Laundry list again for Memphis. Smart, Rose, LaRavia, Kennard, Clark, Bain, Aldama. All out here for Memphis tonight. On the Portland side, Brown and Sharp are out. On the Houston side, Tate now. Jashawn Tate out tonight here for Houston. Oladipo, Eason, Bullock are out. Smith questionable there for the Houston Rockets. On the Cleveland side here, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Giannis still probable. And, of course, Thompson. Thompson had that issue, right, with substance. He's out. Mobley, Jerome, Garland out. LeVert is questionable. They're getting a lot of production here from the bench, this Cleveland Cavaliers team. We saw that the other night with Merrill. We talked about that with Wayne about Sam Merrill. Of course, the game time decision for LeVert. Of course, LeVert can also produce points off the bench, and he has been pretty consistent with that. Phoenix, Dallas, we see here that Bo Lee out. Gordon remains questionable. Powell out. And we see Doncic will be in the lineup tonight. Expected to play is Luka Doncic tonight for Dallas. Irving is questionable. Let's see what the word is on Irving. He's on the questionable side. Thumb is the issue here. He sprained his right thumb during the loss to the Celtics, was wearing a brace on the thumb. X-rays were negative, and is still going to be questionable in this game tonight. So keep an eye there on Kyrie Irving. But the news there in this game here is for Dallas is the return to the lineup here. Looks like Exum is back in the lineup tonight. Let me make sure of that here. Projected minutes. Let's see if Dante Exum is back in the lineup. So he's off the injury report. So Dallas is going to get some more depth, some scoring off the bench with Dante Exum in the lineup tonight here for the Dallas Mavericks. Sarr out for OKC. Sissoko, Trey Jones is the question mark for the Spurs tonight. We can now add Fernando out for Atlanta tonight in their game against Golden State. They got a laundry list there too. Gee, Hunter, Krejci, Wes Matthews, Trae Young out for Atlanta. For Golden State, Moody, Paul, and Payne out. Golden State back in action tonight after that long layoff of the death of their assistant coach. So there you go with this one. All right, so we got you covered there in the NBA. Of course, I'm going to be on the Trailblazers Rockets over the total with my pick on the show. And it really comes down to the Rockets' defensive efficiency. As we know, we've talked about some of these younger teams wearing down a little bit. Like the Rockets are one of those teams that like to play strong defense. But we look at Houston over their past 5 games. They're giving up 120 points per 100 possessions. They're fading a little bit. And we're seeing Portland giving up about 120 points per 100 possessions over their past 5. So we'll go over the total here with this Rockets and Trailblazers game here tonight. Guys, check out Pick Dogs Stream. I have a 3-pack on the board right now. My 3-pack is bundled with my $19 best bet on the board, so go ahead and get signed up. Remember the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. You can also get my long-term pass. I have a 3, 7, or 30-day sports pass. Get all my premium plays for that time period. Just like when you go to my handicapper page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. Add multi-cappers with that multi-capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, guys, you got the picks here. You found the best bets. I'd like to know what your best bets are. So go ahead in the chat right now. Give us your best bets, and I'll report them here at the end before I close. This will do for this edition here of the Drive-Thru. Guys, make sure you tune in again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers from Big Dogs and Sports Chat Place. They got their place for you in real time. Remember, it always gets started here with that morning show during the week, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We got Mitch, we got Chris, we got Jay. Of course, we got Mitch at 7 picks in 5 minutes. Betting Tools Show, roundtable discussion with professionals. We also have Chris with his Around the League here from the NHL. Also, we've got Jay with his Jam Session, NBA, as well as NFL. Also, host of the weekend shows as well. Of course, don't forget, we got Rod Zawacky with his NHL A to Z coverage from every game on the board from the NHL. That's Rod Zawacky delivering those. Also, his parlay in there as well from the NHL. We just talked to Against the Public betting there with Dana Lane. All access from Big Al McMordie. Costi has his plays here for you with sharp trading plays in there as well. Of course, Ron Romanelli, college basketball bank shot breakdown. Of course, we've got the contrarian plays from Brian Bittler as well. Our man Nick Mencken, first half NBA. Mills was a UFC rundown as well as his prop shop. Don't forget about those parlay videos as well from Brad Francis. Wayne Scott with his boxing videos. You get that boxing this video series from Wayne as well. There's lots and lots of content, lots of video series up there as well. Also get some draft picks here from Mitch. Recently he's been doing those shorts on those drafts. If you're into that market, he's giving you his thoughts there in the upcoming draft, quarterbacks, line. He covers it all. He covers in-depth coverage here with those shorts, so check it out with Mitch as well. We're adding more content here on the video channel. So guys, lots of content. Make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications so when we're live with us, you're live with us to get the plays in real time. All right, just a few things here coming in here. Some get the plays. Shout out to Blake, our man Doubles, coming in with his play. He says Colorado, Washington over 156 tonight in the college hoops. Blake coming in with Auburn plus 3.5 of this show pick today. What else do we have today? Coming in today, shout out to Solo. Shout out to Blake as well. We got Lando coming to Florida, team total over 3.5. That's his play today here on the show. Barkov back on the ice tonight. He put some beer money here. Bet Sankevich anytime goal plus 425. That's from our man Lando 86. And what else we got here? Black Panther coming to Leafs. Leafs money line, Boston money line, and Kraken in 60 minutes. That's from our man Black Panther. Shout out to you as well. We've got Andy Adelson in there. Shout out there with Andy. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see here. Shout out here to James Thrower here with the hardball quote here. Oh God, Rax likes. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. That's a question. Will Seton Hall beat Providence? That's a question there. KC moneyline, Detroit moneyline here from Greg Simple. Already looking up here for the games coming up on Sunday. Shout out to you. Appreciate that from Nick Beats Vegas. Maple Leafs. Let's see who else we got here. Caesar Castillo came in with some good content as well. Shout out there to Bruce and Conrad. Robert Pitts. Let me see if any more last time for the plays. All right, we got all the plays in for everybody. All right, that'll do it for the show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So let's go ahead and bring in our crew from tonight. Great goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch